Вярвах аз, че вечно ще живее. Най-хубавите ми години отне и после си замина, ала нощем още те търся. Като птица съм свободна, но на воля не отлитам. От години свикнала съм да обичам само тебе.
Uncle Travelling Matt here, and it's the end of another day of our Balkan trip. And I am now in the Serbian capital, Belgrade. We're in a hostel called White Town Hostel. We're not sharing a dorm or anything like that. We've got our own room. And yeah, I feel pretty awful, actually. And I guess part of that is, you know, we woke up pretty reasonably, and then we had another long journey. You know, it was a 5-hour journey, and they just, I don't know, they take it out of me. I've had this cold since before I came, and it won't go away. And the heat is killing, and it's much hotter here than it was in Novi Pazar because we're not in the mountains now. The journey itself wasn't too bad. I dozed for part of it, and I read a book that I bought in Podgorica for part, 150 pages of the book. One of our fellow travellers was a lady who was wearing niqab, which is, I think I'd seen two I'd seen in the whole of Novi Pazar. So, but she was quite chatty, and she said that Thomas looked like Keanu Reeves, I guess because he's mixed race. Yeah, so that was quite cool. And then she was going to Belgrade, and then at one of the towns, basically a load of obviously foreign people wanted to get on. There wasn't enough room on the bus for all of them because it was a minibus, so they put about 6 or 7 on, and the others waited for the next bus. And we got chatting to one lad who was sat between me and Thomas, and he was Syrian, and they were all Syrian refugees, and I guess trying to get their way to Germany or something like that, and travelling in a group. And indeed, when we got off the bus in Belgrade, there was a whole heap of Syrians sat around in a group. Obviously, it's one of the places where they congregate on the migration route into Europe. So yeah, that was that. So it was quite an interesting journey. I mean, the south of Serbia is quite mountainous, and we're on the plains now. I'd say much hotter. We had a sandwich when we got off. It was by the old railway station, which for some reason they've moved the railway station, and the old building's been done up. I think it's because they all wanted a terminus and they wanted a through station. Then we walked to our hostel, and that kind of took it out of us. It was a half-an-hour walk, really hot. But it was interesting, you know, because we saw some of the main sites. We saw a statue for Gavril Princip, of course, the guy who started World War I. And we also saw I think it was the old Ministry of Defence buildings that were bombed during the NATO bombing campaign against Kosovo, and that they've obviously been left as it were. And billboards proclaiming Serbian and Russian friendship, which is, of course, a political statement considering current events. One of the reasons why I've been feeling really bad is I've had this like low-level headache, and that's from, I do have high blood pressure and I have medication for it. And of course, when my bag was stolen, all the medication was in the bag. So what I did do is, when we were settled in, I went to the pharmacy, and I actually managed to get prescription medication over the counter, rang my pharmacy to check it was the right stuff. And so I do have blood pressure medication, and my head's a little bit better now, which is good. And then the other, you know, it was just so hot. I don't know. I just had no energy. Didn't feel great. We got chatting to some people who are staying in the hostel. There's two ladies and a gentleman, and they are Russians, and they are studying to be doctors, medical doctors in Serbia. Now, I think they're only like in a summer school or something, but they were really enjoying it. It was like half study, half vacation. The girls were from St. Petersburg, and the boy was from, I think it was Krasnoyarsk. It was in Siberia somewhere, I think. No, Ekaterinburg, I think. So it was quite interesting. He's obsessed with football. And then in the evening, Tom and I, we went out to found a traditional Serbian restaurant, which was really good. We had an amazing meal, and had a short stroll by St. Sava's Cathedral, which is huge. And then we came back, and here I am. So tomorrow, it's going to be. We're going to start our 2 days of exploring Belgrade. I need to find this bag. The lady who runs the hostel, she's helping. She's got a friend who works in the airport, and apparently 300 pieces of luggage have been lost from Vienna. So it's not just us, and that might explain why they haven't contacted us. I've sent Podgorica Airport an email. They haven't replied. So I'm not too hopeful, but they did say they would send to Belgrade, so I may just have to pop up there on the off chance that it is there. Thomas wants to do a bike tour. I don't know if we'll do that tomorrow. And we also, of course, the main thing, we want to go to Tito's grave and book the overnight train back into Montenegro, and then we're going to go to Albania. So that's that. That's all from me, Uncle Travelling Matt. Not the best day, but, you know, these journeys have to be done. It's part of travel. And I guess when you get old, you just don't have the strength you used to. So all the best. Keep travelling.